I'm Josh Bennett, co-owner and founder of Hawk Knob Hard Cider and Mead in Lewisburg, West Virginia. We've been here for going on 4 years now.
My name is Will Lewis. I'm co-owner of Hawk Knob Hard Cider and Mead.
Will and I were both graduates of WVU. We were both in the horticulture program. I graduated with a degree in horticulture and a minor in agronomy. I think Will did his in horticulture and entomology, I think. And during that time period at WVU, I also went overseas and studied a little bit of viticulture and oenology in Austria through an exchange program. And other than that, I've been making hard cider since I was 12. The cider, a lot of what we do is based off the ciders that I grew up making, which were, a lot of people don't realize we've got a pretty rich cultural heritage in cider making here in Appalachia. And where I grew up, people had been making hard cider since before, during, and after Prohibition, and it was passed down generationally to me. And it was always done in cool, slow fermentations and cellars in bourbon barrels. And we're still doing a lot of that. But Will and I met in college and kind of had dreams of going commercial with this ever since.
Talk to me a little bit about your business and the room that we're in right now with all these barrels and stuff.
Yeah, well, you can see some stainless steel vats and some oak barrels. The barrels is a big part of what we do here. So we were the first cidery in West Virginia, and there's a few things that kind of set us apart from other cideries in the States. One is that we pretty much primarily focus on using heritage variety apples that were traditionally used in cider making. In that, we probably have one of the most extensive blends. We've got about 14 varieties of apple in our blend that we use. We also we do specialize in not adding any sugars, water in our process. We kind of adhere more to old world European winemaking standards in that regard. We approach what we do from a winemaking perspective. So we don't add sugar, we don't use fining agents, we don't filter, we don't back sweeten, and we don't use sulfites. And all of those things kind of really set us apart in the cider market. Another thing that really does set us apart is the sort of extensive barrel aging that we do. So we have 4 main lines of product. We have a couple other products that we put out in small batch through our Headwaters series. That's where we kind of tinker with smaller batch production. But we have 4 main lines of product, and all but one of those goes through some form of barrel aging.
Tell me how you make different
kinds of ciders.
Yeah.
Well, there's a million different ways to make different ciders, but cider in its purest form is basically apples that have been ground and pressed into juice, and that juice is fermented into wine, and that is either served still, meaning uncarbonated, or you carbonate it. And you can either force carbonate or you can bottle condition that to get the carbonation in it. But more or less, it's wine made from apples in its simplest form. That being said, to make different styles of cider, one style that we make goes through 6 months of aging in stainless steel.
And something that people might not have heard of, what is mead?
Mead is basically honey wine. Mead's actually the oldest alcoholic beverage known to man. It was the one first intentionally fermented by man. We already won a $15,000 award for being a first round finalist. There were 471 competitors from out of 48 of the 50 states. It's a national competition through the National Farm Bureau called the Rural Entrepreneurship Challenge. So we were one of 4 finalists chosen in that first round. But now we have to go compete against the remaining 3 other finalists in January, when we'll have to go compete live on stage in Nashville against a panel of judges and a studio audience and all of that. So it should be pretty interesting. A little pressure on there.
To see, you won the $15,000 through that, and then potential $25,000 more you could win?
There is a potential $25,000 more, and that's pretty interesting there. That's broken up into 2 segments. So there's going to be a panel of judges that determine a winner. But there's also a People's Choice Award. 10,000 of the potential 25 is going to be determined by the People's Choice Award. And so people from all across West Virginia and across the country will have an opportunity to vote for us during the competition.
Lewisburg is your home, right?
Yeah, it's my hometown.
So what's it like to own a business that's been this successful in such a short amount of time in a place where you grew up?
It's an honor, really, to kind of give something different to Lewisburg and the state in general, as we were the first cidery. But it's really neat to see people get really excited about something new and different in West Virginia, and a potential good industry for West Virginia too.
Crazy to see that you probably had maybe a little, almost like a homebrew style kit in your basement.
Yeah.
Now to get to what do you think about when you walk in and see all this compared to when you first started?
Oh, it's amazing. it's a world of difference. You know, it's really hard to believe that we've come this far in 3 years even.
The fastest growing sector was within craft cideries, and that sector of the industry still grew at 50% growth. That means that, to me, that people in the United States and in general, in the cider market in general, are becoming more educated on what a good cider is.